Captivated by two of Greg and Dana Newkirk's most haunted experiments, I was inspired to build 1/8 scale replicas of Liz, Lou, and their display case. Let's get weird, shall we? We're starting with two 5-inch dolls from Dollar Tree. What does this do? Gah! Okay then. Fortunately, these figures have perfectly usable shoes and/or boots for what we're doing. Since I have no idea how to make miniature clothing, I had to research patterns, resize them, and cut them out with the Cricut Maker. I double-sided taped them onto an old t-shirt and hoped for the best as I reached for the scissors. A list of things I am not. A seamstress. 2, a doll seamstress. And D, adept at sewing. Liz's getup was pretty good considering my skill level. However, Lou's getup was so complex for me and it changed at least 3 times during the course of this project. Oh, and these looked like small Frankenstein monsters, no? But I digress. Now, we need custom heads. These were sculpted the best I could in Blender. They were printed in PLA and stand a total of 1 inch tall. I first primed them with acrylic in a flesh color. It wasn't a great idea, apparently, so I had to start over. I retrieved my thinner airbrush paints. After watching a few tutorials, I primed them gray. Then they were given a shadow base. The tutorials talked about layering lighter and lighter highlights, avoiding the shadow areas you want to keep. With each pass, the paint should be lighter in color and applied in a progressively smaller manner. Painting the eyes was a nightmare, as if these things weren't fuel enough. I did the best I could, but Lou looks positively insane. And if you think painting mini eyes is bad, try gluing sections of mini hair on anything in existence. It doesn't go where you want it to go. So now it just looks like I made Kung Fu Lou and the Flying Nun. I designed and cut out the display case components. These would ensure everything would line up and would enable me to utilize layers to give the appearance of ridges. I found a reference photo of the display case online and scaled the dimensions down. Regardless, its construction was very challenging for me. The important thing is to learn from my mistakes. Since there were an abundance of shelf rings, they left a lot of circular cutoffs in their wake. Not one to waste good pieces, I layered them to create a heavier and more stable base that will support the tall structure's weight. Next are a string of bright white Christmas lights from Dollar Tree. I had to cut 6 off of the end so I could fit the remaining inside the top in order to keep it slim. This is the layout of the base and spine of the case. I printed out the necessary panels on glossy cardstock. They had to be molded into a curve shape. This is the first iteration of the base, but I ended up changing it later. The shelf rings are different sizes so that they can be layered to appear as if they have ridges. The tops were coated in metallic nail polish as my chrome pens looked poor on the cardboard. After gluing the layers, the edges of the rings are covered in HVAC foil tape to simulate metal. It's extremely sticky and finicky, but if you can smooth it out, it looks stunning. Styrene rods were used, though I only had square. Comment rods below if you're in the know. Now here's the catch. It would be easy to use an existing structure like an empty pop bottle, but I have to work in this specific scale. So sheets of acetate were used to wrap around the structure to mimic the glass. It was extremely difficult to work with. I didn't see a way to build this case exactly how it appears full size, since it's one piece that actually pops, twists up, and folds back down. I didn't have round styrene, but these will do. And upon covering them with the foil tape, it burnishes nicely with a bone folder. This is the entirety of the back panel, which I should have curved before joining. At any rate, a wooden dowel is helpful. But why didn't I use dowels for the legs, you may ask? Well, I was originally going to use bamboo skewers, but quite a few were warped and they were a tad too skinny. Conversely, the dowels I have are too wide. Kind of a Goldilocks situation, really. Or, why not 3D print custom legs, you ask? Because A, that's a pain. 2, it would use a lot of filament. And D, I didn't want to. Now I'm just trying to conjure up a plan to create the supporting backbone for the structure. I didn't get footage, but the picture frame is made of air-dry clay from a mold I have. It will hold the dark mirror. I needed to make the mask as well. Back to Blender sculpting for the restless face. This piece is also an inch tall and it printed out quite nicely. It's not convex, but rather has a flat, solid back. Bright red, glossy nail polish was best suited for it. While it was drying, I decided to touch up the frame with acrylic. Surprisingly, this face was not too difficult to paint, consisting of 2 white dots and 4 black dots total. I was hesitant to try and add lined details on this piece, so I kept it simple. Then I glued a small rubber band on the back to attach it to its stand. This was such a challenge to combine all of the various pieces, and I had a hard time with the camera angles whilst doing so. The support stand for the mask is made of shaped aluminum foil covered in black electrical tape. The dark mirror is painted with black nail polish covered with acetate and draped with a shiny cloth. They are glued to a glass shelf of acetate for stability. In goes Lou, awkwardly awaiting Liz's arrival. And in goes Liz with her counterpart. I'm not used to working with figures or painting faces, but I hope that I expanded my skill set with this project. Lighting is complete and the battery box glued to the back of the structure. This is just a small replica of the display that was part of the Newkirk's Haunted Objects Live speaking tour that just took place. I'm not affiliated, I just really dig their experiments and research. Their unique approach to investigating phenomena has me intrigued. The figures have picked up quite a few vibes along the way, I'm sure. Now, we just have to wait and see what effect each and every audience had on them during their countrywide excursion. Please let me know in the comments if you took part in this experiment.
Thank you for watching.